What is going on, guys? I'm Jack and welcome back to Project Race Car, and you join me on a very sunny but very frosty morning for a slightly different video today. So this is my new Ford Fiesta ST150 and it's my new daily driver. So obviously it's not JDM, as you can see, which is a bit different to the normal sort of videos we put out on this channel, but I thought I'd introduce you guys to the car and talk a bit about why I bought it and why I bought it as a daily, more importantly. So without further ado, let's go and take a quick look at the car, and then I'll waffle on about the modifications that are on it already, what the plans are for the car and stuff like that. So let's go. So guys, you would have seen from the previous clips, a few bits and pieces are on the car. First thing to point out is actually the paintwork is in pretty good condition. I'm just going to have a bit of a walk around on the car, I'll show you. So it's not particularly clean, so I apologise, but take a look. There's a few scratches here and there. Hopefully that's coming out on camera, especially in the sunlight. It's actually pretty good condition. The other nice thing is we've got ST180 alloys. Hopefully you can see the camera down there. I should be able to see that a bit better. So that's pretty nice. A previous owner had just bought a Mk6, so he swapped his wheels from his new ST onto this one, and then sold it to me, obviously, which is nice. Yeah, so the things you won't have seen, it's actually got, apologies for the sunlight, let's get that way a bit here, there we go. So the things you won't have seen is actually got BT coilovers on, which is quite nice. It is going to be a daily, so it's not going to be a track car or anything like that, but it's always nice to have decent suspension going. So it came to me on the hardest setting, which was a bit rough for daily driving, so I've turned that down to the softest setting. We're going to give it a bit of a run, because I haven't actually given it a proper run around a B road yet, so that's something we're going to do today, and I'll give you guys my first thoughts on what it is actually like to drive it around a B road, because obviously that's what these cars are really good at. So what else have we got? Let's walk around the back, because the back I think is my favourite part of this car. So obviously this is not standard, but we've got a Maxed In Designs rear diffuser, which is the RS style, and we've got the rear spats to go with that, which makes the car look awesome. There's a few bits and pieces I think I want to do to it, which we'll run over in a bit, but I think the back looks pretty sweet. Obviously we've got the rear wiper delete as well, which is the most important thing in the world, and even better than that, we've got a Cobra exhaust, which if I point the camera down there, hopefully it's going to come out. It's actually got a really nice tailpipe, and it's black as well, or I think it's black anyway, or it's just dirty, and it's yeah, it makes a really good noise. So let's go and check that out, because obviously exhaust sound is the most important thing. Let's go do that now. How about that? That's not a bad sound, is it? It's a bit loud, but it's when you're in the car, it's actually quite nice, because it's not deafening, which is pretty good. So I'll tell you what, we've gone over the car, you've had a quick look at it. Should we go through it around a B road so I can give you guys my thoughts on what it's actually like to drive? Let's go see how good these BC coilovers really are, shall we? Let's go. So before we get going, there's one thing I don't know if any other Fiesta ST owners have noticed this, or it's just me, or it's just cars in general that I haven't driven. The pedals are so far over to the left. It's not something I've ever experienced. It's really weird, and the pedals are really close together, which is great for like heel and toe and stuff. But if you've got slightly big shoes on, like I have today, it's actually a bit annoying to try and switch between the accelerator and the brake and so on. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but every car I've driven, all the pedals have been quite evenly spaced. So, and we'll see how it actually handles after I've driven it. But I only bought the car a couple of days ago, and I've only driven it twice since then. So I'll get the camera set up in the car, and we'll get on the move. Let's go. Alright guys, so we're in the car, and I apologise for the slightly close angle on my face today. I'm sure that's nothing anybody wants to see. I've managed to lose my suction mega mount, which goes on the window, so I'm having to use a vent one, or one that mounts on the vent instead. So there might be a bit more vibration, and again, apologies, it is quite a bit closer, but either way, let's let's go for a drive. We've got a little way to go to get to Dartmoor, and it's a bit frosty today, so I'm going to be a bit careful, but we'll still give it a good thrash around as much as we can, and I'll let you guys know what I think of the car as a B-road driver, because I've heard they're brilliant for that, but I've never experienced it. I didn't actually drive one of these until I went and bought it, so I test drove it on the day and then drove it back in the dark, and I've driven it to Tesco's and back, and that's all that I've done in the first few days that I've owned it. So, but let's crack on, get over to Dartmoor and go for a drive. I'll catch up with you guys when we get there. So we're just heading up onto Dartmoor now, guys. I thought I'd just take this opportunity to sort of explain how the car drives without thrashing around a B-road, you know, in case you guys are thinking of buying one as a daily. So I've been a bit spoiled, really, as you know, with the Skyline, it being a turbo, and the Evo that I had, obviously I've just sold. If you haven't seen the video, go and check that out. I've been a bit spoiled in terms of cars to drive. They're both, you know, high-power turbocharged cars. This is a 2-litre NA. My Mk6 that I had was a 1.8 NA, but that had VVTi, so it kind of acted like a turbo in one way or another. So this has been the first like truly naturally aspirated car that I've driven maybe ever. I've always had like turbo diesel Polos or stuff like that, so yeah, it's a lot different. However, it's got a lot of poke to it. Obviously it's a 2-litre in a little car. They don't weigh that much. I don't know what these actually weigh off the top of my head. Oh, there's a Ferrari 458 going by. Very nice. I don't think you picked that up, but it was in a very dark red. It was lovely. So distracted slightly. So yeah, I must confess I don't actually know much about these cars. I know they're very well reviewed and have a very good following, and parts are cheap and stuff like that. And obviously they're very well driven or very well driving cars. So that's part of the reason for me buying one, in the fact that I know that they're good cars. So there's a lot of help and support around if the worst comes to worst and things do go wrong. I will say now, I didn't buy this car for the channel. You know, we can do content on it, which we'll talk about in a bit, but it's not a YouTube car, if you like, you know, in the same way that the Skyline and Ollie's Evo is. Saying that, Ollie didn't buy his Evo for the channel either. We just thought we should start recording it because it's a cool build. But nonetheless, if you guys do want to see content on this car, let us know in the comments, because obviously it's a sort of cheap, affordable, attainable car for a lot of people. So I know there's a lot of Fiesta ST channels out there, so we don't want to flog a dead horse, as it were, but if there's stuff that you want to see on this car, let us know. But yeah, anyway, back to how the car drives. So I said I haven't really had a chance to test the handling yet, but in a straight line it's not particularly fast, I will say, as it stands currently. It's pretty standard. It's probably running about 160, 165 brakes, something like that, with the ram air intake and the exhaust and the decant and so on. So yeah, it's not slow by any means, but obviously in comparison to the other cars that I normally drive, it's fairly slow. But that goes without saying, right? And that's not the point of this car. So the point of this car for me is to be able to have a lot of fun at, you know, reasonably slow speeds, right? Which is kind of what they're good for. So it doesn't need to be fast in a straight line. So there might be a few bits performance-wise that we do to it, but probably not. You know, it is my daily, so it doesn't need to be, you know, I don't need to strap a turbo to it or anything like that. But yeah, I think maybe a few cosmetic mods. I really like the look of the Mark II RS spoilers that people put on these, so I may end up with one of those, although they're not mega cheap, so I don't want to spend a fortune on this car. The plan is to still pump most of the money that I've got spare into the Skyline. Yeah, apologies if the sun's in the way, guys, by the way. It's a beautifully sunny day here today down in the southwest, but it is cold. It's about 6 degrees, so hence why I'm wearing a massive coat and so on. Ironically, there's actually a Mark 4 or 5 Fiesta in front of us. I don't know, I'm not really a Ford man, if I'm honest. There's an old Fiesta in front of us now, just a standard one, but we're just coming up to some B roads now, so let's oh, he's going left. This is good timing, so let's drop it down a few gears and see what it can do. Well, it revs well. makes a good noise as well inside the car. I don't know if it's coming up on camera okay. Steering response is lovely actually. I wasn't quite prepared for that. And we've hit traffic again, unfortunately. Brakes aren't too bad. They work well enough for now anyway. Well, let me just adjust the camera. Yeah, I mean the throttle response is amazing. Obviously there's no turbo lag, so yeah, that's awesome. Like you're just on the power straight away, which is fantastic, even at low RPM. But yeah, it handles pretty well. It wasn't a particularly twisty section, but it seems to handle well. It's got a lovely heavy steering feel to it. I hate really light steering. It's just not. I can't get on with it. Obviously it's quite a thing in you know, modern everyday cars. But oh, there's a Morgan as well just gone by. All the sports cars are out today, guys, and we're running around in our little Fiesta. That's great, isn't it? It's got a few little burbles on the overrun as well, which is nice. Makes quite a good little noise. I was thinking I might swap the exhaust for a Miltec because they're that little bit quieter, but I'm not sure now. I think having driven it for a couple of days, it's not too noisy in the cabin, which is lovely, really. Struggling a little bit up the hill. Oh, the camera's dropped off. I apologise. I said it revs out well and makes a great little noise. So yeah, it looks like it's really busy up on Dartmoor today, unfortunately. I think what the idea might be to do is just turn around and go back the way we came, because traffic going the other way is nowhere near as busy. So I'll tell you what, I'll catch up with you guys when we've turned around and headed back the other way, and fingers crossed we can get a bit of open road to really test out the handling. So this gives us a bit of a chance now to pull away and see what it can do. It is down a hill, so we'll bear that in mind. Well, that's 60. That's not too bad, right? There we go. Coming up some lovely turns. Let's see how it handles, shall we? That's lovely. Sticks to the road, really does. Not sure, obviously I've never driven a standard one, so I'm not sure how much of this is the coilovers, but yeah, that's a lovely heavy steering wheel, steering feel, as I said, and yeah, sticks to the line perfectly. I'm gonna have a lot of fun in this car. It being front wheel drive, it's still a little bit twitchy, of course, when compared to the to my Evo 8 that I obviously just sold, as I said. Not quite as planned as that, but again, you wouldn't expect it to be. But yeah, really good little handling car. It's just a shame we couldn't get to any of the more exciting roads. But yeah, it's a good little first drive. So as I said earlier, let me know, guys, if you want to see any more on this car. Whether it's a month review to see if there's any more things that I've picked up on, or any modifications you think I should do to the car, or more importantly, if you are a Mk6 ST owner, please let me know in the comments if there's things I should be looking out for, or common faults, stuff like that. Because as I said, I don't actually know much about these cars, and it would be good to get some opinions on from people that have owned them, and what cool little mods that we can do. There's a few visual things, as I said, that I want to do. There's a few bits that are wrapped. The roof is wrapped in black, the mirrors are wrapped, and the bottom half of the door panel is wrapped in black. I think I'm probably going to take that off or redo it, perhaps. I'm not really a fan, to be honest. I feel like it needs perhaps a front splitter and maybe some side skirts as well. So the things we're going to be doing are maybe mainly cosmetic. But yeah, cool little car. I'm super happy with it. And the great thing about these cars, guys, is they are cheap. I don't mind telling you how much I paid for it. I paid £2,500 for it. It's done 74,000 miles, something like that. It's been reasonably well looked after. It's got good service history, and they seem to be holding their value pretty well. So that's always a bonus, right? So yeah, cool little car. So guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the video there. But before I do, I've got some Skyline news, and I'm super excited. So I've got a new exhaust on the way, which you may have seen on our Instagram. It's not just any old exhaust though, it is a Tome Extreme titanium catback system. And I know that's a lot of words, but Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. It's coming in the next week or two. It's coming over from Tomei in Japan. So yeah, big thanks to Wayne from Auto Extreme for getting me a great deal on that in the Black Friday deals. So yeah, that's coming soon. I expect I'll grab Ollie and we'll fit that. We're just trying to work out where we can fit it at the moment. Once that's on, I've still got the top secret style rear diffuser to go on, which yeah, again, I'm mega excited about. The rear end is going to look so good on that car. So yeah, guys, make sure you hit subscribe just for that, so you don't miss it. But yeah, more on the ST to come, more on the Skyline to come. Ollie's going to crack on with his Evo build again, and you guys probably can't see anything because of the light, so I'm just going to wrap up the video there. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoyed the first video on the ST. But for now, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Cheers. Bye-bye.